Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ian McNaughton, Big E. I'm recording this Thursday afternoon Pacific time here in Vancouver. It's a beautiful day outside. That's why I'm wearing the long sleeve pullover and pants. I got a Ian Preview Sports, but it's also an Ian Review Sports because we've had two matches since I did my last Ian Review Sports. So pretty much we're going to be reviewing some sports, we're going to be previewing some sports, and we're going to be previewing some more sports. Today's sport we're previewing is rugby. I've gotten more comfortable, by the way. I've done I think a dozen of these now. I'm getting more comfortable. I'm figuring things out. There's no F1 this weekend, unfortunately, but I am happy to report that Formula E is coming to Vancouver next year, and I am so stoked. I am so excited. I'm going to have a great time watching Formula E July 2nd, 2022 in Vancouver. So let's talk about the rugby first. You probably can't see the big board. I'm still getting things figured out, but that's cool. First, Australia beat France 23-21, men's 15s. This game was in Brisbane. I think they were originally going to play at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and then they had to move it due to COVID restrictions. So it took place at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, which is a fairly new stadium. I believe they were playing the Australian Sevens there January 2020 before COVID shut down. So Australia won 23 over France 21. Last minute try by the Wallabies pushes them to victory. France led as much as 15 early on. France was on it right away. They had the early advantage, and then Australia crawled and worked their way back into it. And by the end of it, they were ahead. They won. This is a 3-match series, shall you want to say it? So this is the first match that took place July 7th. The next match will take place July 13th. That's going to be at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And then July 17th is when the third and final match takes place, I believe, also in Brisbane. So they're going from Brisbane to Melbourne to Brisbane. Keep in mind, two of France's best players, Antoine Dupont and Romain Ntamack, not playing due to COVID restrictions and finishing off with the club team. So, I mean, I don't want to say Louis Carbonell is France's best player because they have a lot of great players, but he's the guy I'm watching at the 10 spot, sort of replacing Ntamack this week. He looked okay, I thought, against Australia. Part of his big thing, and Squidge Rugby has talked about this too, it's just communicating. It's just, communicating verbally. You might know what's going on, but if you don't tell other people, then it breaks down at some point. So that's kind of why, the France-Australia series is intriguing because of Louis Carbonell. Maybe going to be a full-time 10 at some point. They might have to put him to wing. Who knows? Next match, again, July 13th at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And then the other match I have here, the British and Irish Lions beat the Cell C Sharks. Try saying that 10 times fast. 54-7. That took place at, so I think it's sponsorship-wise, it's known as the Emirates Airlines Park, but it's really just Ellis Park Stadium. I'll start with the Lions stats. 14 penalties in the match, quite a few penalties conceded by the Lions. 8 tries in the game, 4 different try scores. Josh Adams had 3. Duan Vandermeer had 3 tries. Luis Rizama got 1, and Bundee Akai got a try. So for all the people who were criticizing his selection by Warren Gatland a while ago, no matter. He's getting tries. The Sharks said they had 60% possession against the Lions, so they were controlling most of it. They had 61% overall territory against the Lions, and they just had one try from James Venter. They were better in the second half, obviously, in garbage time than when the Lions were controlling most of the game. But overall, a really good showing for the Lions. Their match Saturday against the Vodacom Bulls was postponed. Now they're going to be doing a rematch of the Cell C Sharks versus the Lions again. I would have put that in my fixtures for the weekend here, but by the time I got the board written down, they already announced it, so I wasn't going to add it. I just figured I'd mention that at the end here. So my next match here, July 14th, versus the South Africa A team, is not true. They're going to play again, I believe, at Ellis Park Stadium again this Saturday, July 10th. The Lions are looking really good. They're looking really solid. They were without their stars again. Some of the stars, I believe Stuart Hogman played. Finn Russell, I think I told you, was out because of a COVID concern, a close contact. It's a weird situation what's going on. It's also why, again, for weekend fixtures, I don't have the Springboks versus Georgia. That's why I was kind of hoping to post this video on early Friday morning so that it would come out in time for the Springboks Georgia game, but that game isn't happening now, so I guess they don't have to plan it that way, but whatever, doesn't matter. So, not the point. Still Sea Sharks versus British Irish Lions. This weekend, probably going to be a similar score, I'm guessing, depending on who all is actually playing and what the starters look like. Kudos for the Sharks for at least getting a try against the Lions. That's not nothing. So those were the two games, two major games that happened over the week. Now the other thing I wanted to kind of preview or discuss is the 2021 Olympic Sevens schedule. So the Olympic Rugby Sevens schedule is now complete. We now know the matches. We already knew the groups before this week, and then I believe it was Tuesday they announced what the schedule actually looked like, who's going to play who when. Fortunately for myself here in Vancouver Pacific time, half of the games are good for us time-wise for being able to watch it. The other half are not. Like some games go from 5 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific, which is great. That's like really good for us. And then the other game, the next round of games during that day start at 12:30 a.m. and go to 3:30 a.m. So you're pretty much staying up all night to cover these games, which I probably will eventually. But some games are actually helpful. So shout out to the Tokyo Olympic Committee for helping us out that way. So again, here's your men's Pool A schedule. New Zealand will play Korea, South Korea. Australia will play Argentina. New Zealand will play Argentina. Australia will play South Korea, and then Argentina will play South Korea. Australia will play with New Zealand. Great game at the end of Pool A on the men's side between the Wallabies and the All Black Sevens teams. Pool B, Fiji plays Japan. Great Britain plays Canada. Great Britain plays Japan. Fiji plays Canada. Canada plays Japan. Fiji plays Great Britain. Really fun group. That could go any which direction. Fiji will probably win, but that group could go anywhere. Fiji and Great Britain could decide the pool possibly, but we'll see. And then on Pool C on the men's side, South Africa will play Ireland. The USA will play Kenya. Then the USA will play Ireland. Then South Africa will play Kenya. That's actually going to be a low-key fun game as well. Kenya plays Ireland, and then South America will play the US. It seems like with all these pools, the final game could be the game that determines the top team, but we obviously don't know for sure. That's why we play the games, really. The men's tournament will start July 25th and then go to July 26th, I believe. No, July 26th, go to July 27th, and then the playoff and medal games start the evening of July 27th in Japan time, Tokyo time, and then the finals is going to be held on July 28th. On the women's side, Pool A, Russia will play Great Britain, New Zealand will play Kenya, New Zealand will then play Great Britain, Russia will play Kenya, Great Britain will play Kenya, and then New Zealand will play Russia. I understand it's not Russia, it's technically the Russian Olympic Committee. Same thing. I'm calling it as it is. It's Russia. The Russian athletes will be playing Great Britain, Kenya, New Zealand. That's who's taking part. New Zealand will probably win that group, but there's a lot of fun games in that. Pool B, really fun group. France will start with Fiji. Canada will play Brazil. Canada then faces off against Fiji. France versus Brazil. Fiji versus Brazil, and a great ending to Pool B between Canada and France. That's going to be really fun. And then Pool C on the women's side, the U.S. will play China. Australia takes on Japan. Australia will then battle China. The U.S. will then battle Japan. China plays Japan, and then Australia plays the U.S. A lot of fun games, especially at the end of these pools, that I am really excited to watch. This tournament for the women's side will start July 29th. It'll go to July 30th, and then the playoff and medal games are July 30th to July 31st. So a week's worth of rugby sevens. It's going to be great. And at the time of this video, it hasn't been announced yet, but we're expecting on Friday to hear some sort of rugby sevens announcement for the Canada Sevens tournament here in Vancouver sometime in September. So that's going to be really fun. We'll have a lot of Olympic rugby coverage for you. Stay tuned for that. And then weekend fixtures. So coming up, Samoa versus Tonga. That's going to kick off at 4:30 in Auckland time, which means it's going to be 9:30 p.m. Friday night for myself. This is the first of two 2023 Rugby World Cup qualifying games. So pretty much the winner of this leg of the series, they will qualify as the Oceania 1 team. Samoa dropped 2 games to the Maori All Blacks. They got better the second game, losing, I believe it was 38-21, I think was the final score last week. So Samoa is getting better. Tonga just had their first game in a while. Last week against the All Blacks, they lost 102-0 against the All Blacks. That's a tough loss for Tonga. We'll see if they can bounce back, get something against Samoa, against Samoa here on Saturday in Auckland. And then also Saturday night, New Zealand time, New Zealand will take on Fiji. That's their summer series games. Local kickoff time is 7:30 p.m. That's about 12:30 a.m. my time in New Zealand. Aaron Smith is the All Blacks captain for the week. That's going to be really fun. The Barrett brothers are going to be playing. Bowden is going to be playing the 9. Jordan's going to be playing the 15. Watch out for the Barrett brothers. They're the best brothers, arguably, in rugby right now. That might be a hot take. I love watching Bowden and Jordy Barrett. Really fun, really exciting guys. And then Fiji, they're missing 3 players due to COVID. There's 3 players that are staying back due to COVID restrictions and close contacts. Hopefully those guys can recover and they can come back to New Zealand and possibly get involved in a game, maybe. We'll see. I'm excited to watch New Zealand play Fiji. That's going to be a really fun 15s game. Wales will take on Argentina. That's going to start 1 o'clock Cardiff time, 5 a.m. my time. Wales coming off a big W versus Canada last weekend. Obviously, it was kind of expected considering Canada hadn't played recently. Wales is obviously getting better. They played throughout most of the fall and the winter. And then Argentina coming off the close W against Romania. That was a really fun game, the 24-17 last-minute try victory for Argentina. And no Lee Halfpenny for Wales. He, again, hurt himself against Canada. He just had knee surgery this week. He's out for the rest of the summer, so no Halfpenny for Wales. England will take on Canada. Local kickoff time, 3 p.m. in London. That means a 7 a.m. kickoff time for myself on the West Coast. Last matchup between these two teams, between Canada and England, their best teams, not the A teams, not any club teams, just the Canada national team versus the England team. I found was 2004, according to Wikipedia. England won 70-0 in a November international contest at Twickenham, which this will be as well. Josh Larson out for Canada due to, I believe he had a knee injury as well against Wales. He will not be in the lineup. Ollie Lawrence is my guy to watch for England. He had a try against the U.S. last week. He was making plays all over the field. I'm excited to see how Ollie Lawrence does again this week. Watch for him against Canada. Ireland will take on the U.S. That's a night kickoff in Dublin, 7:15, which means it's a 9:15 a.m. kickoff time for myself. Ireland is coming off the great win against Japan. That was a really fun matchup against Japan last week. Really battle-tested the Irish. We'll see how they do against the Americans this week. The Americans obviously had a really good second half of play against England at Twickenham. Slow start, better as they got going. Don't know if that'll mean anything against Ireland on Saturday. Who knows? Stuart McCluskey, center from Ireland. He's my player to watch. McCluskey was making some really good moves, really good passes against Japan. I could have gone with a bunch of different players for Ireland as to who to watch and who you should be paying attention to. I'm going with McCluskey just because he's a center. his job is to make plays. His job is to cut off, edges and make sure guys aren't going outside very often, which I thought he did a good job against, Japan in that regard. I'm sure he'll do that against the U.S. Ireland should beat the U.S. with no problem. Might be closer than people think, though. Who knows? We'll see. That's Ian Preview Sports for July 8th, previewing international rugby for the upcoming weekend. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw or you agree with what I am saying, be sure to like the video. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, comment in the comment section below. Let me know what I got wrong or what I should know. And if you like the channel, if you've watched a bunch of these, if you are just, searching through YouTube and you find my channel, Speak Your Peace channel, be sure to subscribe. That's greatly appreciated. Again, thank you very much for watching. Greatly appreciated. Peace out.